what topics we have coming up, my guy. Um, let's just start with something basic, dog. Like, I mean, I know we have like gotta say, but I just wanted to like the first question really is like life and what is your career looking like in your head, and what do you want from it?
I get it. There's a many paths that I would like to take, but at the same time, some I know I may have to go back to school for, and then the other one is kind of, in order for me to achieve that, I need to leave where I'm at now. Because but at least like I can pick these things up to a point, and that's why I'm not trying to put myself in that position. I'm trying to put myself in a position where I know if I leave, I have the money to support myself financially, mentally, physically, and whatever else I need to take care of. As far as the career, I have been looking at becoming a motivational speaker a lot, because the benefit is of that is using my word as a gift, and also kind of like in a sense where, like preaching, is you get to speak words to people who need enlightenment or need a guide in their life that doesn't have a guide. And that's something that I pay close attention to, that I know I have a way with words. And that's something that I feel very strong about, and if I had to choose a career path, I would be a speaker.
I see thread.
But like with that, there's a lot more that it's a new road to embark on, where I can find. It already brings joy to me now knowing that, hey, I was able to help people in need. I was able to sit there and listen to, like, kind of like, even as a therapist, in a sense, where listening to somebody, hearing about what's going on with them, trying to understand. I may not have the right answer, the right words at that moment, but that doesn't mean I'm going to give up on that person, because I know deep down inside they're lost just like I was. And even when you're lost, it's like you find that little spark, and that's all it takes.
Death smiles.
Once you find that spark,
Good boy.
it's like you really find out your passion in life. So for my other careers, I see myself going multiple lands, speaking, even if it's like, again, like I said, going to be a therapist. And not that, at least I saw my side hustle as a technician. I can go here and there. I can pretty much go all around the world. I've already put my 3 years in. So now that these 3 years have bypassed, I pretty much can go get a job anywhere. And with mom and pops, like, I've been talking about my first car, like saving up on, because pops will feel, oh, you know, we've seen some nice cars, like little starter car. I said, it's cool and all, but if I'm going to be putting money down on a car that I really want, I want it to be something that I really work for and I enjoy. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm settling in a sense. Because when I feel like that, then it's like you don't feel accomplished. You don't feel like you achieve anything, because you kind of like dropped your standard, only to literally just sit there and look at, like, man, I could have did this, I could have did that. Instead of saying I could have, just do it. Yeah, you have to take sacrifices in your life, and that's the main thing. Like, we all do. We all take sacrifices every day that we get up. There's a chance and a possibility that someone may not wake up at all. But knowing that we still have breath, that we have life within us, and we can get up and get to it, you shouldn't be afraid of what you don't know about. Because life is pretty much at a point where there's so much stuff that we don't know in the unknown, that everybody just automatically falls into, like, the path of fear. And if you live your life in fear, you don't live for nothing. If you live a life of just settling, what do you expect to achieve? You don't achieve what you really want to be and become. You just pretty much, you just another, hate to say it, is like you're trying to copy somebody else instead of being original. You know, shut up, clap, around. Like, oh man, I regret not doing this, I regret not doing that. Yeah, I can regret a lot of things. For instance, I regret losing contact with Rachel. I regret doing the things in high school that I lost good friends, and that's because I was trying to look besides the negative things inside of people that I'm losing good people, and now to this day, I don't even talk to them like that. And with that being said, I don't want to lose any more good people in my life, especially any that like meant so much to me that they're a blessing. And that's why I'm always reaching out to you, lend a hand, lend an ear, lend a shoulder, just to listen. Because when I listen, it's like I get an understanding of it. And I feel like once I understand the story, then I can have a better like interpretation on how to apply things. Like, okay, you know, I see the perspective from their point of view. And once I understand it, that's really where the inspiration comes from on helping people. So, I'm leaving it right there, I guess.
A lot, my man.
Yes, sir. Yeah, she been going, been playing on this shit for years. I'm just waiting for my moment.
Right. Now I know, because I know one of the things we used to talk about for you is you wanted your own like garage in Atlanta. I know that was like a big thing you harped on. But you know, sometimes things change. You know, sometimes passions change, and you see yourself doing something for a while, then you're just like, do I really?
Right.
And for me, it's always been one thing and one thing only, man. And it's that screenwriting, man. It's never changed. It's never been like, nah, man. Like, that's the one thing that I've always just been keen to. I've been attached to, and there's nothing like it for me. And you know that. You know that when it comes to like film and somebody just threw it barrel at me. When it comes to filming and everything like that, that screenwriting takes the cake. It's even when I was little, I was telling a good friend Red of mine. When I was telling Red, I was like, yeah, man. Like when I was little, I used to just write stories, but it was just writing stories. But I love the way that a script controls characters, controls narrative, controls what you want to tell, because it's your story that you're telling. And I just love the idea of just controlling an environment to where your story is being told, where your imagination just runs free. And that's what I've always been keen to. Whenever I need to lay out some steam, blow off some steam, or just like write something down, my imagination, my dreams, screenwriting, writing in general has just always been something that I loved. And then once I figured out there was a career for writing the stories, for screenwriting, I'm just like, that's the end game.
But yours
There's
was
nothing,
thrilling.
absolutely nothing. And I mean, man, even like just screenwriting, I love filming with Red and Liam and everyone. It's just it brings everyone together, hearing different ideas, different strategies, locations, ideas just being thrown around, man. Like I have scripts that I know I'm not gonna film anytime soon, just because of like what it's about, who's in it, what it's really about. I know they're not gonna be filmed, but like reading them back, doing a little update then and there, I enjoy it. I feel like if I was to do anything else, it had to be somewhat about writing, or just like film in general maybe, but I've always just stayed in that lane of just, I love what I do. And it's not that I'm doing it just because, I mean, screenwriters make some money. Like, I'm not even gonna front and say they don't, but like, they make a decent amount. And as long as I'm doing what I love, the amount is just kind of like subpar. Obviously, you know, the world is run on money, and sometimes it's like, oh, you know, you have to swallow your pride and you know, take a job that you don't want to. But screenwriting is just, if I can make a decent amount and just be like, oh, I'm making some money, and doing what I love, there's nothing more you need. As long as you're doing what you love and you're making money from it and you're living a life that you feel comfortable in, that's all that matters. You don't need to be the richest person in the world if you're miserable. That's what the one thing that I think our generation harps on is being happy while working, having a career that you feel like you will enjoy in the long run, and not what you think is going to bring you the most money. Because then in that case, everyone wants to be a CEO. Everyone wants to be a company owner. Everybody wants to own a company and just make money. Actors or whatnot, that just make money and just like call it a day. But I'd rather just do what I love. Cause I'm not making money anyways, writing films right now. I'm not making no money, but when I do, it's like, it'll be worth it. Because that's all I want to do, man. And there's no other feeling like screenwriting for me. I love the idea of it. And it helps because, especially like when I at least like share my scripts to Rhett or Liam or Mom or anyone, and they like them. And it's like when Curfew came out, when I first wrote Curfew, and Liam was like, hey, I want to use it for like a little small, like for us to film. And he's like, oh, like if I wrote it. I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do it or whatever. And there's other films that we probably won't ever film, to be honest, that I wrote that it's perfect. Like, it's a great time to write them, and now, especially with one of the films, I don't know if you remember Prom Night. I don't think I had you. No, you remember Prom Night. Yeah.
I'm supposed to be dressed up while everybody was still.
No. Like, I think your character was the one that was dressing casual, and everyone else was like, "Oh, why are you dressed like you're going to like the beach or whatever?" And everyone else is like in tuxes and dresses and stuff. Cause you're like, "This is how I feel comfortable in," or whatever like that. I forgot what I wrote for your character. We're probably never gonna film Prom Night. Probably never. And I have to be okay with that, because for one, just for right now at least, that film is not happening. Just because of, you know, what's going on in the film and everything, like, yeah, current situations. And it would have been the perfect film, because it takes place in like a living room on their prom day, and now that's actually what people are doing now. Which I'm like, now my plan isn't unique no more. Cause I wrote that film like 2 years ago, and now people are actually doing it now.
Yeah, everything took like pretty much a turn events, and now you look at it, everybody clearly has to do that.
Yeah, so now my idea isn't unique no more. Which I'm like, I'm like, whatever, you guys suck. But Prom Night isn't gonna happen. But Prom Night is a good script. Like, it gets the job done. Like, it's not anything fantastic or nothing like that, but it's one of the better ones that we've had as a script. Relationship deal. That's another one. Like, I like writing. If I had to see myself in like another place, it has to be Atlanta. That's another like movie, film like location area that people go to besides LA, of course. Atlanta's another one that people always film in Atlanta. So I would still be in the action, just not in the Hollywood lifestyle that people think they need. And it's different from a Cali native moving compared to a non-Cali native. Because in their minds, it's like audition, live the Hollywood life, get a big role, and live out your dreams. Cali natives know you're not getting that anytime soon. Like, especially with the cost of living out here, like it's not worth it. And you people see, you go on the right pages sometimes, dude. You'll be seeing like Texas homes for like at least like half of what you're paying for a Cali apartment.
That's the like the thing about that too is people come all the way out here to Cali thinking this is the best thing ever.
And you come out here and it's like, eh.
Shit, hold up. What the?
I mean, the one thing that you could say about Cali, and it beats any other state in my opinion, is the entertainment we have here. Which is why everyone wants to come to Cali, because name another state that is going to beat a Knott's Berry Farm, a Disneyland.
Well, see, they got their own little Disneyland and shit.
Yeah, but what besides Florida, like there's other Disneylands out there, but everyone wants to come to Disneyland, Disney World, Universal, Six Flags. Not like you're not beating that. And that's why the one thing about Cali is that you're not beating the weather. Like the weather is one thing that people come for, and it's not worth it. It's not worth it though. It's not worth it though. Like
it really isn't.
If I could screenwrite and do it while living in like a big house, paying like less than half of what I've been paying for a Cali apartment, then why not? And that's what the goal is at the end of the day for me, is to screenwrite, live a comfortable life, and if I can, just, you know, explore. You know, after screenwriting, I want to travel the world. You know, I want to go to Italy. I want to go to Spain, Jordan, all these places. I just want to go to visit and just see what's out there. Because we don't know when we're going to be able to travel again. That's why the whole trip thing to TKO is the big thing. Because we don't know when we're going to be able to travel like that. We're all getting older. And I promise you, I'm going to be as busy as I can be with this film. Because that's, again, we're talking about a market where it's like, you got to be prepared. But again, like harping on our career goals, it's always been screenwriting, and it's gonna stay like that, honestly. Cause I love what I do. I love screenwriting. I love writing, and I love stories, man. That's why when it comes to like The Last of Us, Spider-Man, Persona 5 even, in Uncharted games, it's like the story is what people go for. Sly Coopers of the world, and it's just, you know, it brings everyone together. And for me at least, that's, I always just like, you gotta have a good story. You have to. That's why Stand By Me is so close to my heart, because like, it's a coming of age story. Everyone loves a coming of age story. About kids growing up when they don't want to, knowing that they have to. And it's been done very well at times and also very bad at times. And if I could get myself to be the next, maybe even being compared to the next John Hughes or the Spielbergs or the I'm gonna forget his name, but Robert the director of Back to the Future and Monster House and all that. Mostly John Hughes though, because I'm a big John Hughes fan. Just even get like in the same category as them, it's a win in my books. That's just all like I need at least. And I'm not saying I need to be compared to them, because at the end of the day, I'm doing what I love, and that's all that matters to me.
That's the same way I was starting off. Even for me, my first job was I wanted to be a technician, but now I see all the shit that I gotta do for it. Don't get me wrong, I still want to be a tech, but just somewhere else. At least something with better treatment and it's respect-wise. There's only maybe a few people up there that actually show genuine respect, and then the rest are just kind of like, they make a pretty much a workplace, not even like a workplace, because they always want to pretty much start stuff that doesn't even need to be started. And then they take it from I was going from work to now I gotta sit here and go talk to the boss about what happened. And I feel like I shouldn't have to go back and forth over something small when you can really own up to your mistakes. And that's where they all fail to realize I was owning up to the mistakes. So they all want to try to figure out something. And that's what gets me, because at the end of the day, it's like you came here to work. And somebody doesn't expect us around. Come on now. You came here to work, you're to start shit, and you're trying to feel like you left okay. But once you start finding something else that like you really find like interesting, it's kind of like, all right, like you gotta do what's best for you. And you know, like you said, if you can have a house where you really just sit at home and write scripts, I don't blame you. If I can have a house too where I can really just sit at home, well, not in a sense, I wouldn't want to just sit at home, but like kind of still go out and like learn new methods, new like skill sets. At least I know I have a place, I have a roof over my head, I got electricity, I can maintain a living, and I can take care of myself.
But you get what you pay for. Like, it's not like you're getting blackballed into like this little 1 bedroom, 1 bath for like $2,000 a month. Like, you're getting what you pay for in Atlanta or Texas or all that. And it's not about really like sitting at home, but it's sitting at home for what is convenient for you. Because nobody wants to pay $2,000 a month for a 1 bedroom, 1 bath shack. But if I could get a 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath house with like I don't know, a huge backyard, maybe a huge basement for like my man cave, for like $200,000 for a house, I'm like, come on now. Like, is that really a discussion in my head? No, it's not. Especially if I'm screenwriting and I'm making the money that screenwriters make at the time. Hopefully for, you know, a big company like maybe Universal is what I'm looking at. But again, there's gonna be bumps in the road, dog. Which is why, like, when it comes to like technicians or even like screenwriting, like, there's gonna be some times where there's gonna be like, oh, Josh, we need to change this and that in your script. It's like, I don't want to. Like, for one, it's my script, and two, it fits better in the characters. And they said, no, like, we're not gonna put it into motion unless you change it. And sometimes you have to bite the bullet, man. If it really means that much to you, there's gonna be times where it's gonna work out for you, sometimes it's not. And if somebody, like, even with Rhett sometimes, like, when Rhett's like, hey, like, I think it's better the characters do this and that, and we'll have a back and forth, of course, and at the end of the day, it's either gonna be he budges or I budge. And most of the time, I budge, and I'm like, all right, let's change it up a bit, and maybe it works out to where I'm like, okay, that makes sense, and then maybe there's a rebuttal that he may have for his script, and it goes back and forth. but there's always gonna be a time where it's like things aren't gonna go the way it's planned. But as long as I'm doing, or as long as you're doing what I'm doing, what we love, I'm not gonna complain about anything. Like, we could be in worse situations than what we wanted in life.
Exactly where you're coming from, and I understand that, because again, anything that happened, like the whole layoff period that we had, is we could have been laid off. Anything could have happened.
Yep.
We lost a job. The fact that they kept us around, that you seen our hard work that we put in, and that's why at the end of the day, can't nobody out hustle us or beat us, because even if the storm outside, as long as we're on our way to get to work, we're gonna get the job done. And that's why not every time, but when it comes to situations and they see that, like, oh, these are the guys that you want to hire, we're the ones. At the end of the day, it's up to us to fulfill what we want. And I'm with you on that completely. When it comes to moving to find somewhere cheaper, and even if it's a 2-bedroom, you gotta live by yourself for a minute. Okay, you can find somewhere else cheaper
in Atlanta or Texas than Cali.
Yep.
And I
feel like that set amount.
No, go ahead.
No, say like if you get that set amount, you can get you a house up there, and then get you a house up here as well, and rent it out. And that way you get like renovation for it. So,
and the only reason why I harp on Texas and Atlanta is because we know what Texas and Atlanta houses look like with the price that they're giving. Like, that's the only reason why I harp on it so much, is because thinking about Cali houses are nice. I'm not gonna say they're like bummy or whatever. Like, Cali houses are especially when you got like a nice view of the city and all that in LA or whatever. Cali houses are beautiful. It's just not worth the price that I could get for a bigger house, with more square feet and everything like that. I'd rather just live, you know, somewhere else where I don't have a great view of the city, but I'm getting more for my buck.
Right.
Which is why when you mentioned Atlanta a couple months ago or whatnot, I was like, Atlanta? Like, I've heard about it, I've thought about it, but I'm like, I'm not gonna move to Atlanta. Like, I'm gonna stay in Cali. But then I started looking at Atlanta houses. I'm just like, huh? That's the price? I'm like, come on, bro. Like, where's the discussion at? And of course, you're leaving home. You're leaving. You know, you're basically going the other side of the United States. And it's like, you're gonna leave some people behind, but it's like, you are gonna, if you can live a better life and not spend as much, then I think that's the one thing that we need to look at all the time.
Exactly.
And the one thing that I have to say about, I've said this a few times, and maybe we'll have an episode about it, is about our boys. When it comes to Gavin, when it comes to Rhett, when it comes to Kevin, when it comes to you and me, that's the team right there. At least for my boys, my brothers. When it comes to like pushing through and getting things done, there's no one that stops us. We put our mind to things, and at the end of the day, it's like, I could say whatever I want, and people may say I'm biased, and I am to a certain extent. But my boys put in work. Like, I have no doubt in my mind that we're unique in no type of other group. The way that we've been able to come together all the time, and I said this again, I'll harp on it forever. We've still been able to stay together and work hard through everything, throughout everything that people have brought to our circle. And it just shows that, like, we're strong-willed when it comes to things. And one of those things is careers. Some may show it more than others, but I know that we're gonna work harder than anyone else to get what we want. And, you know, there's gonna be times where we used to not talk to you, But right now, that's what I say to everyone, like, we gotta spend as much time as we can with each other. Because Atlanta is the entire opposite of California. Like, it's the whole different coast. And we don't know next time we're gonna see everyone. And we don't know next time it's gonna be a whole hangout or, you know, going out to get lunch or going on a joyride at night. Like, we're not gonna have that once we're in our late 20s, early 30s, late 30s, early 40s, late 40s, and we don't know what's gonna happen. And that's why I try my best to say, like, guys, like, I know, like, there's a lot going on, but we still gotta, like, try to, like, hey, let's kick it for a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I get you.
Well struck.
Like, make time for each other. So I understand exactly where you're coming from. It's pretty much what everything going on is, since, like you said, we all have our own paths to go. When it comes to working, we gotta do what we gotta do. We just gotta do what we gotta do.
Right.
So, but at the end of the day, for years, and what we believe in, we have that to support us because we know at the end of the day, if we want something, we go for it. And if it means we have to make a sacrifice here and there, as long as we can find a way to still stay connected, even if we're on the other side of the world, we still maintain that connection and that path, the bond between all of us. And with that bond, it's been tested, and when it was tested, we re-strengthened it, came together and united again, and that made us even stronger. And that just proves right there that no matter what situation, can nobody come to us and break years of hard work and everything that we put together to work forward.
Ready for a fight?
Damn,
Your cordial greeting has me uneasy for some reason.
It's,
I am keeping the voices at bay with this atop my head.
I have
Acquire that metalhead pace.
so much confidence in all my boys and even my girls to push through whatever obstacles life will throw at us, because that's all life is gonna throw at us is obstacles. And I'll like, again, like, my boys put in work, and especially when it comes to, like, because majority of us kind of it revolves around film. When it comes to me, Rhett, and Gavin, it's mostly film. That once we, not saying that you don't, but you're not really like the biggest when it comes to like filming and stuff like that. Which is I don't have a problem with it, obviously, because we all have different things. But especially with me, Rhett, and Gavin, it's like if we all put our minds to it, oh man, it's like who knows what we can make sometimes. Who knows what you and Rhett can do when it comes to cars, and you and Gavin when it comes to just like, you know, just working hard and just being dedicated. But we're all gonna be at different places at one point in our lives, and careers separate people sometimes. It's hard to say. It's like, you know, whatever is best for us is what we're gonna do. Because again, it's convenient to all be friends for so long, but there's gonna be a point where we all gotta separate and just do our own things in different states and just say, hey, like, my career is my career right now. And we have to respect that, obviously. And I have no problem with you taking off to Atlanta when you need to do what you want to do. Because that's all I want from everyone, is to just work hard, do what you got to do, and live the life that you want to live. And when we were younger, we could have said, oh, I want a big house in Malibu or Venice Beach, and I want to drive a Lambo or a Ferrari. Or you remember those things we used to say when we were younger about driving Lambos? And now what is it? Now it's, I want a house in Georgia. I want a Dodge Charger. I want, you know what I mean? We've come a long way from wanting to drive Lambos on Venice Beach and Santa Monica Pier rather than what we want now. And that's just part of growth. Because it's unrealistic for me to buy a Lamborghini, have a house on Venice Beach, and be a screenwriter. Like that's not.
That has self-debt written in it first.
And even if I did get that, that doesn't sound satisfying to me. It doesn't sound like the life I want to live, to be living on Venice Beach, driving a Lamborghini. That doesn't sound appealing to me no more. Like, my dream car is kind of a low-key a Maserati right now. I'm not getting a Maserati, but it's not like I'm opposed to it, or that's not the car. Yeah. But I do want a Dodge Charger. I want a house in, you know, Georgia, if I'm able to. And that's the end goal. Screenwriting in my house in Atlanta, Georgia, with my 2 dogs, my Rottweiler and my I can never get the name right. A Kuvas. It's this big white dog. And it's just it's so beautiful. But those are my 2 dogs. With my little gym room, my guest room. So when whoever wants to you know, come visit me or whatever. But again, I'm not picking and choosing, man, because life throws things at you that you're not prepared for. And who knows? Maybe you know, if screenwriting doesn't end up being the thing that I want, then I hope that it's something that I will enjoy regardless, as long as we're happy and we're doing what we love. But like I said, I don't see myself enjoying anything else as much as I do screenwriting, man. Like somebody says to me, hey Josh, I'll give you $200 if you write me a script real quick. I'm like, hell yeah. I'm getting paid to do what I love and getting paid. Come on now, like don't try me. Don't try me. That's all I want, is to get paid for screenwriting. And again, like, screenwriting takes a lot of work, man. It takes a lot, even for me, like writing, like sometimes even thinking about writing like a 100-page script, I'm like, ooh, that's But that's what I like, man. I like me a challenge when it comes to things that I want. And especially what I like to do, I want a little challenge sometimes. But yeah, man, that's all me, man. I mean, screenwriting and screenwriting for film, man.
It's all achievable too, because we know that we can do it. You know, to be honest, I've been talking to Pops about it while my first car. I've been looking at Chargers and everything. I've seen 2018 Chargers because they're about to drop a newer one, that they're dropping the price on a lot of cars. And I haven't told him, but like, I already made my 1 year at work, so now he's like, oh, it was like, if you get that car, just know that those payments will be under your name. I'm like, I understand that, and because I know what I want, that I did want to challenge it, but now at the point I'm looking at it, it's like, for family purposes, and even like when we hang out, like, if, say, for instance, one day we all decide, okay, well, we're gonna go to Knott's Berry Farm or something, or we decide to go to like Disneyland, and somebody doesn't want to drive, and I have no problem driving, I want everybody to at least be comfortable, have enough space. So that's why, like, maybe I should get a Charger, only because it's spacious, and if I do decide down the line to start my own family, I still have the best of both worlds. I still got my muscle car, and I have a family car. And even when like mom or pops, when they need to take it, like to go to the store or something, but go to work, because I'm pretty sure your pops is talking about retiring soon. So it's like, all right, I have to get my own car because he's talking about trading his car in to get something else. And then for mom, I'm trying to look out for her to make sure she's good. I have no problem with the borrowed car. And then I'm starting at the payments and everything. I told him, like, if I get maybe a $6,000 or $5,000 down payment on the car, I know that I want it so bad that to a point where I literally told him, like, hey, I'll do whatever I have to do to get this car, and I know that I can do it. And it's the fact of the matter that knowing that I can do it, that has pushed me and made me rethink a lot of things. Like, hey, now that you put in your year, then maybe this is what you need. That little like boost to get you like, okay, you need to get back on your shit. So that way, this is like kind of a wake up call. If you want that, you gotta work for it. I mean, nothing comes easy in life, and nothing comes free. And knowing that what the car is and how much it's worth, I won this Scat Pack. The Scat Pack, that's what it cost me. I seen one for 30 grand.
Go and meet
Monthly
death.
for 700. That's not gonna happen. I seen an RT. I'm better off getting an RT just as a starter, and that's, what is it? 23 grand, and my monthly payments will be like 398, and my insurance will be like 2 or 3 something. But since I'm a first time buyer, I actually gotta worry about taxes. So that's why I was looking at, like, I want to make sure I get all like the numbers and paperwork done before I decide, oh, maybe I should go get the car. Because you can get the car, but can you take care of those notes and that bill? And that's the main thing Mom was like talking to me about. Like, I know you can do it, Pops knows you can do it, but at the end of the day, remember, all this is going to be under your name. And I told her, yeah, I understand that. I mean, because at some point I got to start building my credit up, because if anything that happened is once I do decide to move out and do my own thing, it's kind of like I have to learn how to maintain a living and understand everything in life. And if I sit here like all that mom and pop do is like, what am I learning? How do I grow? How do I learn how to defend for myself, how to make a living? At that point, it's kind of you fall in like this safety net that, oh, well, they'll take care of it, so like I'm safe. It's kind of like having, in a sense, like, again, like you said, not in a sense like you're settling, but it's like you don't feel that intensity of, okay, I need to step my shit up, I need to better myself. If I don't get my shit together, either I can be on the street homeless, or I can do something better for myself, or live the life that I want. The life that I want, the life that I'm working with right now. At the same time, there's times that I really do enjoy it, where you and my partners, well, not my partners, but like my coworkers at work, like seeing them with their modified cars, it's just like, man, imagine having your home. Nobody telling you what to do. It's your car, your vehicle, you work for it, you earned it, you put in the time, you put in the effort, you did everything to the car. Now when you go to a car scene, you're glad they use your car. You have that bragging right to say, I did it, I worked for it, now I'll do it. And it's that accomplishment. It's like what you with script writing, when you write a script, and you know that you pour your heart into it, it's like you know you're doing it, and it's something that it makes you, it's had that fire on the inside, that spark that you've been looking for. It's like you found it, and now you know that you've seen what you can produce, the work that you can put out. So, for me, I want to become a technician. Now that I see like how everything's run, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I'm a technician. Because, again, I see how much work I got to do now. And I'm saying how hard it is, but I just see that the amount I'm getting paid now, compared to if I go somewhere else, actually like a hardcore born tech, yeah, I can do it. I know I can do it. But when I'm looking at as far as the future, like I need to get my own car. I need to start doing these things now where I can need to start making my living and start looking at the bigger picture. Like, all right, mom and dad isn't always gonna get it. You need to learn how to take care of yourself, which I can, but there's certain things that I'm still like questioning, like I need help with, and I need them, and that's why I'm asking. Like I ask my mom like for certain things. Pretty soon I'm gonna open up a checking account, and that's mainly because if I do get that car, I know that's like my main priority. Pay the car off, pay my student loan. Get those taken care of. I literally have the luxury of wanting my first car, and it's a car that I wanted. And Pops made a valid point, like, hey, everybody starts out a bucket at some point and work their way up. And then he was talking about certain cars, and I was like, yeah, that's not really what I want. If I'm gonna put the money down, is I'm gonna get something that I know that I saved up for and I earned. Because it's different. It's like when I got the job, I didn't go through an interview on the computer. I walked in and presented myself, and at that time, some people I just got laid off because they had a bad work ethic, and then I came in there, I changed things over. And now they love me, and they kept me. So I don't want to leave just yet, but at the same time, I do realize that if I do want to pursue something more in my life, I have to move on and go find something else. Because just sitting around it's like, all right, I'm gonna wait for my time. The longer I just keep on waiting around, waiting for that right time, it's like, what else can I be doing? What else could I be taking care of? Like, Rachel, what do I have to do to like finally like get with it? And it's where what do I need to do to become a better person? And what do I need to do to strengthen myself? What are the main things that I need to do now to better my future? Or what I look at. And every day I always think about that. Like, all right, it's a new day. I got my job. I'm here. Even though I'm not a morning person, I still get my ass up, go to work, put in my time, put in my hours, and then I come right home, knock out. Time does fly, but then also think about it, you also need that check. Because
yes, sir.
not only right now, shit, I don't know what we're making right now, even with our jobs, even though they're like our first jobs, this is just a first, it's a start for us.
First stage.
When we really do what we really want,
it's over.
Once we really do what we feel passionate about, there ain't no stopping us. Any and every obstacle that tries to get in our way will not come to pass because we will surpass it. And in that sense, after we surpass it, we're what we want. It's like we work this hard, and some people say we changed it. Yeah, we have to change to become better. If we stay around, we're in life of, oh, like, you know, but that's back to the whole resistance. If there's no resistance, how can you grow? Well, how can you learn how to expand yourself? How can you learn to, like, all right, I need that tension. That tension is what forms us to being better.
There's before you carry on, there's I'm gonna add a point that you brought up a point about the car situation. I'm gonna mention that after this. There's a quote from I'm not gonna say from where, but the quote is it's okay, you're young. I stayed here and grew up while you went off and stayed the same. And for me, I look at that and I say to myself, you don't have to go anywhere new or explore to grow up. I've stayed in my own little neighborhood, and from where I was in high school to where I am now, you could talk to any of the people that went to high school with me that still talk to me today. I'm not the same person. I've obviously grown up, I think more than anyone else that went to that school, to be honest. From being how immature I was and how self-centered I was, to now the one goal I have for myself is to make sure I provide for my mom and my grandma for the future, for their future lives, to buy them a house and take care of them as they took care of me. Right. And that's the one thing that I'll say about the growing up part, is that a lot of people will say that, you've changed, so and so. I've stayed completely to myself, same group, same everything, and just stayed to myself, and I've grown up so much. And yeah, change happens for better, for worse, for some cases. But the one thing I want to say about the car thing is that, for me, I could have gotten a car that is a lot newer, that has functions that are a little bit more modern. But I told myself, I'm gonna work towards something. And the upgrades I do make from where I'm at right now to where I advance to is going to be a bigger leap than most people get. And I'm going to feel more accomplished with starting off at the bottom technically and working my way up to something more. Because I'm saving more and I'm doing more to provide for myself to what I want in the future. Because the end goal isn't really the Dodge. It's just being happy. No. It's just being happy. The Maserati is a dream car, and it'll stay like that. but I'm not looking to buy a Maserati. I'm looking to be happy with my life. And if being happy means driving an '02 Camry for the next few years, or whatever car I get, whether it's an '02 Camry or it's a 1995 BMW or it's a 2007 Prius, whatever car I get in the future, even if I do get a car in the future, it's gonna be towards something, and hopefully it's to my happiness. Cause I don't care if it's a Lambo or a Maserati, a Nissan, or a Mini Cooper, as long as I'm happy. If I could provide for my family and live comfortable and not try to put myself in like a social class, like I'm not trying to live high class, I'm not trying to put myself in the category of middle class or even think of myself as low class, as long as I'm happy and I provide to the people that mean everything to me, that's all I want from my life. And whether that's me dying at 89, 112, or even 53, as long as I'm happy and I'm doing what I love, I can't complain.
I get you.
And obviously you want to live out your life, but sometimes you don't get that. And we have the luxury to say, we're still alive. So, again, it's like you're just working towards something at some point. We're working towards a life that we can feel comfortable and not be forced to put ourselves in these brackets of either being rich or being poor, or being happy or being miserable, being successful and not successful. And at the end of the day, it just becomes a story of what's important to you, what are you working towards, and how are you going to work towards it. Because I'm gonna tell you, like, there was a period in my life where I just wasn't happy, and I felt like social media was making that a lot worse, and Instagram was making that a lot worse. And I had to get off. I had to do me. I had to provide for myself. Even people, like, sometimes today is still like, you know, like, why'd you get off Instagram? Why'd you do this and that? It's just like, I just wasn't happy. I didn't feel like I was doing myself a justice or anything in the nature. So I decided to branch out. And who knows when, and you're obviously back on Instagram if people didn't know. But who knows when I get back on Instagram, man? Who knows? No, I don't even know. I didn't think it'll be a year at the end of August that I've been off Instagram, and that's just kind of crazy for me to think about, because I didn't think I'd be off this long without social. Obviously I have a Twitter, but it's like Twitter's just Twitter. You know, you could be dead silent on Twitter and still, you know, not feel as injected into social media as you do on Instagram. Because Twitter is toxic, but the Instagram toxic is a whole different story.
Yeah, that's. I'm gonna be honest with you on that one. It was even certain pages. I'm gonna tell you now. It's like you see one thing and say you like one thing, it automatically starts just, oh, okay, he liked this, so we'll start sending recommendations. Like, another reason why I got off of Instagram, and pretty much it was just one of the fucking lustful ass shit that kept popping up. Fucking, that was popping up at the time. Like high school was like, you try to find a girl that, you know, the things that we would do. Yeah. Going on Instagram, it was like you just seen that everywhere, and it's just like, okay, so what's the whole point of this? And it got to a point where I was tired of it. Like, it's like you want to find something real, but everything out there's pretty much. This is the point that it shows that everybody is stuck in their mindset. Like, oh, once you get to this age, like, oh, YouTube is this and that, blah blah blah. That you're doing this in life if you don't know what you're doing. That there are things that you need to start like owning up to. It's kind of like you doing this just for the clout, or that's all Instagram was for? Just people would go on there trying to make something. Oh, if you're not doing this and that in life, what are you doing?
Let them hear your
I didn't
rage.
have time for that. Like, I'm trying to focus on improving my life, and seeing this it was kind of like it was a teardown, and then you had the lustful shit with like actresses and shit popping up, people over there doing the same stupid shit. You watch one video, and then next you know, there's a fucking girl moaning. You go watch one simple thing, and automatically everybody looks at you. What are you doing? And you like, and it's like people start ridiculing. Oh, do you know who such and such is? Or you know such and such follows you? Everybody keeps making fucking spam accounts. It's like that shit got to a point where I was done, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Including that certain shit that like Davion was saying, that shit also was part of it, and that's the reason why I was like, yeah, I'm getting off of IG, because not only was like you see it here and there, but then when you have somebody that like just sends stupid shit, that's why I had this shit on mute. So every time you send me something, I have that shit really on mute, so I wouldn't see any notifications. Again, the main reason why I downloaded IG was only for Rachel.
I send you to death.
Like I told him, my next month, if I don't hear a word back from her, I'm back off of IG. Yeah, it was fun while it lasted, I guess, for a few months or the moment that it did, but I'm not waiting around. She's doing her, I gotta do me. If we're to even have anything in the future, or anything does pop off, oh shit. If anything does pop off, and I do get the chance to like actually meet her in person, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna shoot my shot. At the same time, I want to see the Rachel that I remember. But then again, that has been 2017, so that's been 3 years already. Yeah, that's why I'm like, you never know what she's doing. And if somebody mentioned, oh, yeah, you know she has an OnlyFans, I'm really hoping that ain't true, because that's really just about to tear.
That's a turn off. That's a turn off for you.
Yeah, because knowing that it's pretty much just like this. Think about it. The same reason why I say things about certain people who watch like, well, watch porn and shit. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I've seen some of them. At the same time, it's like, how could you? In my perspective, how could you date an actor, knowing that you getting paid to literally sleep with other people? And my main thing with that is like, if a girl has an OnlyFans account, it's like, how many people have seen this? And not only that, how many people in your circle, or that you quote unquote call like friends, have seen your girl that if you do go, like, if it does work out, now you call her your girl, but she's already like exposed and showing her privates all over like social media and shit. And that's another thing like about one of my exes that I went to Wilson. I'm gonna be honest, straight thought, motherfucker. No, I ain't dying here saying how my story is, but when I started hearing some things about her, yeah, she did some things that, I'm gonna be honest, I'm glad me and her did break up, because I don't know how I was able not to see that shit, but yeah, on the low, she was messing with other people. That's why I was like, alright. And I'm glad I had that group of friends where they looked out for me and told us straight, like, hey, you tell me all the time. And that's why I really
Let the life bleed from
friends.
you.
Certain people then, those are the ones I still have on Instagram that I talk to. But knowing that other friends that I had was like, oh, you remember such and such? I'm like, why? Why do you gotta keep bringing her up? It's like they bring shit up from your past. And it's like, leave that shit in the past. And that's the main thing about it is, I'm actually becoming an OnlyFans person. I'm not saying that I don't have nothing against that. At the same time, it's kind of like, there's a reputation with that. Like, yeah, you gotta make money, and I understand that, but you shouldn't have to expose your body or sell your body to make content in a sense where it's that. And that was one of the things that I really was kind of like, when people would bring up the topic and talk about it, like, I felt uncomfortable about it. Like, I feel like that's something to keep to yourself, but if you can talk about it briefly, okay. I'm guessing that's just me. But the OnlyFans thing, I'm not saying I don't support it, and I will say that I'm kind of against it. Like, I'm biased in this sort of like a hypocrite in a sense, or hypocritical about it, because I try to see from both perspectives, but man, from my perspective, it's like, I don't know if I can actually see myself with that person, because it's just, I don't know how to find the right words for it. It's something about it just doesn't feel right to me, knowing that, okay, you make these type of videos, and think about it, this is the same girl that, like, literally, girl, chick, or whoever talking to, you bring her to your family, and they ask her what she's gonna do for a living for work. Sooner or later, somebody's gonna have to tell him. And it's kind of like, alright, it gets to that point where now, you don't even know what to say. And then you start thinking options, is it love or is it lust? And then you really gotta find out what is it that you like about that person. You gotta find out and see, like how I'm trying to find out about Rachel, who they really are. Because then, yeah, mark my words, you could find the right person. But at the same time, for me, I see it as, I don't know. It's like, I really have to be into you in order for me to like, look past that, like look past the flaws and everything. Nobody's perfect, so I'm saying this now, it's like, who am I to judge? But as far as like my type in a sense, that's a no. That's automatic. Like, I don't know.
We'll get into that another day. That's a whole different situation. But what do you call it? I mean, I think that's it, to be honest. At the end of the day, man, it's it is what it is. But hopefully we're in a place in our careers, even in life, where we can just look back on this and just be like, man, we come a long way. But
what I'm looking for in our careers is once we get to that point where we can move on and do what we set out to do.
yeah,
Taking care of our parents and getting all the things, like you said, being happy, that's the main thing. Like I told you about me leaving this job, I was saying that because there was points where literally when I would wake up early in the morning, I was not happy getting up going to work. But I pulled through and I did my damn thing, so I know I had a job to do, and I know I need, it's pretty much, the only reason why I'm going is just for a check. That one when I talked to one of the guys in sales, he asked me, do you honestly see yourself doing this for the rest of your life? No, I'm be straight honest. I said that with a swiftness, and he seen that right there, was like, I can see, because he looked at me like, to be honest, you look like you should be doing more. And that's why I felt that too, because I thought about it. I thought I should be doing more, but it's like, I don't know where should I go, what's my next step? And like sitting around trying to like wait on the side, and you know what, eventually it'll come to me. Nah, it's like now I'm looking at it, it's like I need to start pursuing shit more to a point where I have to, like, alright, I have to put myself in the situation. I need to get better. I need to do this, because if I want to get better for not only myself but for my family, my future, and everything that I want in life. And like when you mentioned being happy, if you're not happy with doing what you're doing, and it's not a job, well, it's not a career, it's just a job at that point. You're only doing it just so you can get your check and then go home, and then you go through that doing the same thing every day, and
for
then
years,
that wear and tear, and next thing you know, now you over here ungrateful, just sitting around like, you know what, I wish I would do this in my life, and then you don't get to live your life, and the next thing you know, well, your reunion comes up for high. They imagine that they want it, and you're over here pouting, frowning, and talking about, man, they got to live life like that. Why could not? Maybe if you would have moved out and found that spark, you need to push yourself.
Don't hold back.
And that's the one, like I told you, when it comes to motivational speaking, is I see that as a very, very strong thing that I know that it's a part of me that if I was put on the stage, I know I could do it. Yeah, it's I have to overcome that fear of being on a stage, but I guarantee you, the moment I get on that stage, it's all eyes on me. So I know I need to step up to the plate and take my swing.
Right.
Because the more I keep sitting there foul balling, I'm not gonna get anywhere but out. 3 strikes and I'm out. What's to come next? Now I'm sitting here waiting on what am I supposed to do with my life, and my life's just going by, just slowly but surely. Next thing you know, by the time I look up, whoa, something finally occurs where I get my opportunity. And then once I get my opportunity, it's like I need to take that and jump on it. And that's what I'm waiting on, because I know I can do it. Moms understands where I'm coming from, Pops understands that too. And it gets to a point where it's just like in like our everyday life, like the closer we get to our goals, we start realizing more. And even just in general, when we take time to like just to think about stuff, once we understand what it is that we want to do and where we see ourselves out in the future, then we can really understand on where to place ourselves and what it is that we need to start stepping up to do.
Yeah, man.
Feel the bloodlust.
Alright, yeah. You ready to wrap it up?
Yeah.
One last question. You got a question?
Yeah.
I said you got a question that you wanted to ask or no?
Look out below!
To be honest, not really. Oh shit.
Then let me ask you then, if you weren't, if speaking wasn't your go-to, what do you think it would be? Like if you weren't planning to be a motivational speaker or technician, what do you think you'd be doing right now?
Honestly, probably just working, having like little mall jobs until I found one. At least I know I'm working. That's the main thing. As long as I'm working and I can provide for myself, that's what I'm taking that little mission. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't want to go to college because I didn't want to take the same classes, but I felt like there are some classes that if they were to offer to me, and even if it was just a summer course, an online course that I can go back and like take, it'll be for investment, for real estate, and communication.
If my knife gets in
That
your
way,
skull.
again, I can travel all throughout the world, selling houses, flipping houses, investing in land, and just being able to travel and be happy. Because I know that everything that I do is pretty much planned it, so now it's at my fingertips. Yeah, the student loan, but besides becoming a tech or motivational speaker, I'm the only one or the only male that in my family that actually took the initiative to step up to the plate. And with that being said, it's like you have a lot of stress on you. You don't know what to do until you finally find that gift. Majority of the females in my family all work in the medical field, so maybe I could have took a shot at that. But then at the same time, it was like, you know, I can take a swing at that. I can take a swing at this. You never really know until you apply yourself and you find something that you're passionate about. I mean, down the line, even when I'm going to school in high school, I'll mention this, years, I didn't enjoy high school. To be honest, everybody said that was the best years of your life. I was just ready to get out of high school so I can find something that I really want to do. And I was working on cars. And now that I'm working on cars, it's like, damn, this is life for me. But at the same time, I'm at that age where I still have that choice of making that life switch or that career change. Because going to high school, every morning, wake up, I have my goals written down for my workout routines. Before I left the house, because I do a certain amount of push-ups, I listen to motivational speeches, I pray, I leave, go to school, come back from school tired, do my work, and so I just adapted to that. And the more and more I heard these motivational speeches, it's like, I mean, everything you're speaking is true, and you're speaking it to inspire me. And that's what really clicked and what caught my attention. And that's something that I felt even within inside of me, that is, I have my own voice, so I'm going to use it to once to inspire, to lead, and to motivate. And that's where I found the happiness in that. Because even when I practice like here, I mean, I know I would write long paragraphs on Instagram, or even just text you guys long paragraphs, because that was my only way of actually expressing myself, because I couldn't say it to you, because we're on different parts, where, again, you live a couple blocks from me, Mel and Sid live other places. It's just, we're all, like, I want to say scattered, but we're still close in a sense. But my only way of communication with you guys is to send you those text messages, because it's me saying that I'm here for you, you're my ride or dies, I support you, and I love you guys. I don't really have that many people that I can say that to, knowing that I have you guys. It reassured me that, yeah, I know I can do it, just like I know all of you guys can do it. That finishes up for me. Yeah, that finishes up for me.
Well then, I think we're gonna call it then. Speaking with brothers, right? Speaking with brothers.